Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Saturday morning, bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Let's talk about being lost. How do you get lost? How come there's so many lost people in this world? Have you ever been lost? You might be lost right now. I think most of my life lost up until, possibly my mid-30s. That's when I started to find my way. So how do you get lost? Well, you get lost by not paying attention to where you're going and not remembering where you've been. Right? Have you ever been lost? Being lost in the woods is really confusing because you don't have buildings as landmarks. If you're lost in a city, you could go around the block a few times until you remember it well. I've seen that building 3 times now. We're clearly just going around in circles. In the woods, everything looks the same. A fallen tree just looks like the last fallen tree. I mean, you don't know which part of the creek you're at. If it's not woods you haven't been to, if it's new territory, and you don't really remember which way you came. Sometimes we can run so fast down a trail, maybe you're not running, but you're just cruising so forward and you're focused on your goal that you're not really paying attention to what's in the moment. And you may get a couple miles in and realize, did we come this way? Did we come that way? You might be walking back and you don't really remember much of I don't remember, did we come this way? I don't remember any of this stuff. If you're lucky, the parking lot emerges and you're like, whoa, yeah, okay, here we are. I'm usually pretty good with directions. Some people have a natural sense of direction. And that's an interesting thing, to have a natural sense of direction. Because people who have a natural sense of direction don't get lost, or at least not very easily. I have a natural sense of direction and I've been lost, but I always know where north, south, east, and west is. I always know. I don't care if you put me in a desert, spin me around until I'm dizzy. I will stand up and I will know which way north, south, east, and west is. But I've been taught this. My mom dated a guy in the Special Forces when I was a teenager. And this guy Harrison, he was hardcore, real life Rambo. He taught me all the survival tactics I'll ever need. I can tell what time it is by looking at the sun. I can always find my direction, these types of basic things. And it makes it so I don't really get lost very easily. I can navigate through cities, barely pay attention, taking lefts and rights. I don't get lost because I always know my directions. You guys are reliant maybe on GPS. You don't get lost because you have someone to tell you. As we grow up, we're under our parents' care. If you have good parents, they give you a very rigid set of rules and they pretty much run your life. As a teenager or a kid, you don't really feel like you have a lot of free will and choice. A lot of decisions are made for you. You're kind of just along for the ride. If you're lucky, you'll go out of high school into college. Again, a very structured atmosphere. You may live on campus. There's rules. There's people, wiser people than you that are helping you, offering advice, guiding you. Maybe you go into the military, very strict, rigid system, and you have someone to guide you, to lead you, at least to a teammate to walk beside you. Because this is a scary world. But after all of that, you may end up at some point out on your own with nobody and no rules. And that right there is when a lot of people get lost. A lot of people end up lost without a structure. If you're in prison, if you go and do a long stint in prison, you could survive in county jail, just, picking your nose and sleeping in your bunk all day, eating chips, not doing nothing. But you go to the joint, at least out in California, I can't speak about where you live. All I know is California prison system. The people that don't go crazy, some people go crazy, legit crazy. They may go in normal and they come out fucked up. An environment like that will fuck you up. But it doesn't have to. And the people that survive it with mental clarity, that may even come out better. Imagine that. You go to prison and instead of coming out fucked up, you come out better than you were. Well, the people that have a decent time in prison are the ones who have a program, a daily mission, shit to do every single day. And it's not just useless chores. Every single thing that you do has a meaning and a purpose. Even if it's cleaning your cell floor every day with your rag. There's a purpose. A philosophical purpose, a legit purpose of just keeping the place clean, but you fill your day with working out, with a whole schedule of basically mind, body, and soul programming. You don't have to, but if you do, you won't go crazy in prison. This is similar in life. If you don't have a mind, body, and soul program, if you're not on a program in life, you don't have any purpose in life, you don't have any meaning in life, and you may feel absolutely lost because you wake up every single day just kind of with this, well, what am I going to do now kind of attitude. You never really know where you're going, what you're doing, or why you're doing it. You're still in this childlike mode of just kind of following along. You follow traffic to your job, to and from. You may follow along with your wife and whatever she wants to do. A lot of men go from their mothers to their wives, never really experiencing what it's like to be a man out on their own. A lion will eventually get kicked out of his pride. He gets too big. Young lions can stay, but once he gets big, the rest of the pride, the mom, the dad, they say, you're gone. Get the fuck out of here. And you will see out in Africa on the plains these very large, huge, young, dominant lions without a pride. They're just loners, roaming. Lions are pack animals, but they have these lone lions. And they're kicked out of their group because they have to be. It's just the way they'll end up fucking their mother. Lions aren't that smart. And then they go and eventually start their own tribe, their own little group of lions. I think every man needs to experience the sensation of being lost, of being alone, of looking around and being like, okay, it's just me out here. Well, I got no one. No one to walk along with and say, well, where are you going? I guess I'll do that too. You have to actually figure out what you're going to do with your life. And just like that brand new prisoner, the new fish that gets off the bus, you may feel completely lost and out of place in your environment. People may feel like this in the world, just in general. I felt like that every single day from the time I was a kid up until my mid-30s. So I finally got on a solid program, a daily discipline program of lifestyle management that rules my life. I make the rules, and I follow those rules. I'm leading myself. This is an aspect of manhood that a lot of people miss. Food for thought.